Day 6, Legendary Lake Fork. Today's the last day. We have the opportunity to put an absolute legendary size Lake Fork bass on the boat. Made a little bit of a faux pas, if you will, and got my dates mixed up. We thought we were originally going to leave here today and go to Caney Creek, but I looked at the dates that I have the Airbnb there, and it's actually the 24th, which is tomorrow. It's the 23rd now. So with that being said, we're here at Fork all day today. Supposed to get some weather. Supposed to come in kind of rainy-ish about 8 o'clock. Might get a severe thunderstorm about 8:30, 9 o'clock-ish. We think we found some fish and found kind of cracked the code to these fish a little bit. We're just fishing too fast, fishing too close to the bank. We found them that most of the fish here are spawning, which is weird, but we're not fishing for them on the beds, like flipping and pitching, but I guarantee you we're dragging our baits through beds, and that's how we're catching them. So we have, I don't know, we got about 12 hours here to see what happens. So let's get it. Starting off today, we found out the day before that these fish absolutely hate a black and blue Senko here at this lake for some reason. We're just dragging these things with, sometimes we're throwing a Carolina rig. Most of the time we're just Texas rigging it with a 3/16 or a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight. Again, we have those things pegged with some bobber stops. But the day before, again, we thought we found an absolute hammer of a pattern. We ended up catching one about 5.5 pounds. We just thought we were fishing way too slow and way too close to the bank. So we kind of started out there basically at the same spot we ended up yesterday in the trip day 5. Ended up catching a few fish, but today proved to be one of the toughest days that we were there. You would think it would be a better situation due to the fact that you can tell that it's overcast. There's a little bit of chop on the water. There's going to be some storms coming through. You figured it'd be a really nice day, but again, it proved to be a really tough day. So stick with us here and see what we catch. Oh, I got one to stink out, huh? Ain't that big. That's one. Megan? First cast with a big crankbait.
How much deal finding out? They're still here. Not bad enough for the thing, didn't it?
Throwing this Texas rig on a kind of a more, moderately heavy rod than I normally would throw it on. Normally I'm throwing this thing on a Poison Adrena like 172 heavy. Here at Lake Fork, knowing that we had some absolute giants that could be caught, I ended up stepping this up to a NRX 893C JWR. I like the extra length that it gives me for hook sets, especially when you're casting these things way out through there. And it gives me, obviously, the sensitivity that I need for those bottom contact fish. So if you're looking for something to throw bigger Texas rigs on, but, don't count it out for smaller Texas rigs like 1/4 and 3/16 ounce, is definitely the 893C NRX Plus. We found a creek that just seemed like it went on forever, and the farther I went, the better it looked. I mean, just take a look at these next couple shots here. First off, I was really impressed that my Stratus was floating in this amount of water, because we are talking, less than a foot of water here, which is crazy. As I mentioned before in earlier videos, or actually the intro of this video, most of the fish were spawning here at Lake Fork, and this is mid-April, and it's not too hard to understand that fish in our area in Ohio and Kentucky are getting ready to start spawning there and going into the pre-spawn. But in Lake Fork, you would think that they would definitely be post-spawn in mid-April. But most of the information that we found and talking to other people and seeing with our own two eyes, that a lot of these fish were still on beds. Now again, you've heard me talk about it several times on live and several times in other videos. I'm not a huge fan of bed fishing. But as we're going back farther and farther and farther into this creek, we just kept seeing more and more and more beds. So, when in Rome, we kind of pitched on a couple, caught a few fish, and then got out of there. Male. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. I appreciate you guys sticking around. If you made it through this far in the video, please consider subscribing if you like fishing content. We got several more days left of the trip. The next day, the next video you're going to see is our very first day at Caney Creek, Louisiana. This is going to check number 5 of states off of my list during this trip. Again, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, and last but not least, Louisiana. You guys know what to do. If you can, get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line.